Hi, it's Rosanna from Southeast London blog, and I'm very excited today to welcome Nikki Spencer onto the vlog. Hi, Nikki, welcome.
Hello, nice to be here.
Yeah, nice to have you. So for everyone who's watching, Nikki Spencer, she lives in Hither Green in Southeast London. She is a freelance journalist by day and a disco diva by night, which is something we all aspire to be, I'm sure. So Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet has already been, well, you've had stellar reviews already in publications like Stella, Prima, even BBC Radio 4. So welcome again, and start off by telling me a little bit about the story behind Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet.
Well, I suppose it's just because I was getting a bit older. I was in my late 40s and it was like, where can I go and dance? And there was nowhere. And I went to a club in Soho with a friend and we were in a queue and we thought, are we going to get in? Are they going to play the music that we like? You know, and we were queuing for ages in the rain and we just thought, you know what, this isn't working. And I looked around and there was nowhere else. And at the time, my kids were like in their teens. So they had things like underage. So they had teenage discos. They were starting Baby Loves Disco, which was for parents with young kids to go partying. And yet I was going, where's my party? And there was nothing. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to have to do it. And I just had this idea. Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet. The track from Gonzalez came on the radio one night and I thought, that's the name. And then I hired a venue, advertised it, and it's gone from there. And people, whatever your age, 30s, 40s, 50s, and also teenagers, 20-year-olds now, come and party at Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet because it's feel good, fun, and I mean, we all need it, don't we?
I'm a bit biased because I've been to a couple of your events and I love dancing, as you know. And
yeah, absolutely.
But what a great idea, because look, you know, I used to go clubbing a lot, from, you know, raves to kind of, you know, soul nights, and even now I feel like, oh, I need to go dancing. Where do you go? And I'm just so grateful for the likes of Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet and other, you know, independent kind of, well, businesses like this that are doing that for kind of our age group. And I think that's really important. So it's great and it's really inspiring. So you're a journalist by trade, is that right?
Yes. So, I used to work in television. So I used to work on the Big Breakfast when my kids were little, which I loved.
Wow, you must have some. I remember you telling me about this before. You must have some great breakfasts. You must have some great stories and some great breakfasts from working on that television.
Well, it was a great place to work. It was what was it, the early 90s, and I had little kids. There weren't that many of us that had kids. But what was great was because you were doing a breakfast show on a Friday, when it finished, you had a bit of a party, which, you know what I'm like, I love a party. So, but I could bring my kids to the party and they loved it. Because I don't know if you remember the set of the Big Breakfast, you know, giant bowls of cornflakes, jugs of milk, all sorts of stuff like that. So we'd always have, every Friday after the show had finished, there'd be a bit of a party with friends and family and whatever. So it was a nice place to work.
So could you tell me like one story, obviously keep it clean.
Oh my goodness,
do you remember anything that's, maybe that's just me.
There's a lot of them that you couldn't repeat, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What were our stories? I think it was just, I know, I'll tell you one. One of the shows I produced, we had the Bay City Rollers.
Oh, wow.
That was hilarious. So, you know, it was surreal because it's still 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and you're having a big party on the edge of a canal in East London with the Bay City Rollers. I mean, it's just, you never know what is going to happen next, and you go from one slot to something else, and it's all kind of blows your mind a bit.
Tell us a bit more about how you set it up and the team, because the events are quite different. There's dancing, but there's also, you have set dancers that come in and people do routines.
Yeah, well, I used to go to salsa, and years ago I went to a brilliant club which was called, what was it called? The Sahara. in the centre of Lewisham, and it's like above a snooker hall. And it used to have all the velvet drapes and everything. Unfortunately, they ripped it out a few years ago. But I used to go there, and it was my thing on a Wednesday night to go dancing. But the problem was with anybody who does salsa is it's a partner dance. So you're waiting for someone else to dance with you. There were more women than there were blokes. And it was, yeah, I kind of got frustrated. But the one thing that they did do was they did a warm up and a warm down after a class where it was just like a line dance, but to salsa. And I just thought, actually, that's a really good way of making sure that you haven't got an empty dance floor at any moment. Yeah. And so I got someone who taught my daughter street dance to come to the first I Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet and do a couple of routines to things like car wash, Whitney, you know, and it just means that, well, when we first did it, we did it so that there wasn't an empty dance floor. But actually now people come and dance before. We never have an empty dance floor, full stop. It's Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet. Everybody knows it. I mean, it's the minute they get there, they're on the dance floor. But it's a great way, particularly if you're coming on your own, you can kind of get involved in it. And it just means that there's this great atmosphere.
The last time we went to Hither Green tap rooms, everyone's so welcoming. It's great fun. You can get dressed up, put your glitter on. I love your jacket that you've got on today.
Oh yes, yeah, I put that on specially.
And it's just nice to be able to get up and get dressed out, especially, you know, coming out the other end of COVID. And I know that during COVID you did some online.
Yes, yeah, and that was really important for people, I think, because you're in your homes, you can't go out dancing. But we recreated a disco at home at, you know, 7 o'clock on a Friday night. And so, yeah, you talked about the team, and, you know, DJ Lord Ant was brilliant. Andrea was great during COVID, doing the routines. So we're all in different houses, which was hilarious. So we're on WhatsApp talking to each other, going, next one is, you know, and whatever. But it worked really well, and I think people needed that. And I mean, the emails we got from people saying, we're so grateful, we're missing dancing, but you've still made it so that we can do it. And now we're coming out the other side. So we've had events. We had our 12th birthday party at Islington Assembly Hall a couple of weeks ago. And then, like you say, we're back in Hither Green in 2 weeks, well, 2 weeks time, February, well, I don't know when this is going out, but on April the 8th, we're back there. Which is brilliant and so much fun, and it's local. I mean, it's literally the end of my road, so
handy. I'm coming. I've booked 2 tickets. Me and my friend are coming.
Fantastic.
And I might have to get a new outfit because it's always good to buy some sequins, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. And I think we've kind of, as it's gone on, we've upped our outfit game. I mean, when I first did it, I just thought it was about the dancing. And so a few people, there was a magazine editor I knew, so she came with all her staff and they all dressed up. Awesome. And I thought, I mean, we'd dressed up, and I didn't necessarily think people would, but I thought, you know what, let's give prizes, let's have a little dance-off competition. And people have embraced it wholeheartedly. I mean, anybody who comes, they say, do you have to dress up? And I'm going, no, you don't have to. But I think you'll enjoy it more if you do, because it's part of the thing about going out. Back in the day was to get all ready on a Saturday night or a Friday night with your mates and then go off. And when people arrive and they walk along the street or they walk, you know, into the brewery and you see them, there's this like, you know, it makes us all feel good to dress up and, you know, put on a bit of glitter and sparkle.
Yeah, it's important. So that segues really nice into my next question when you say back in the day. So where did you used to go clubbing?
Oh my goodness. Oh, where should we start? School, I grew up in Devon. So we used to have school discos. Luckily, I was so lucky, and that's one person who got me into soul, funk and disco, was I had a drama teacher who was a DJ on local radio, and he was actually really cool. And so he used to do our parties, and he did great school disco. So actually, that's where I started. We used to go to a place called, it's called the Hole in the Wall or something. Oh, it's still there. I'm trying to remember. In Exeter, we used to dance on the table. It's called the Timepiece, and it's still there.
I love a bit of
and then when I went to university in Manchester, there were so many clubs that we used to go to. There was one called the Cypress Tavern. There was a brilliant place called the Ritz, which had a sprung dance floor. And this was kind of 70s, and it was, you know, there was a bit of punk going on. So people were like pogoing and dancing, and, you know, you didn't even have to dance because the floor was lifting you up. And then when I was in London, I used to go to a place called Subterranea. That was quite 90s. That was in Portobello Road. And in Lewisham, there used to be a great club called the Red Eye, which I just moved to Lewisham and then it closed down. So I never got to go. But yeah, and then I had my kids and you just don't go out quite so much. You have a wedding or a family birthday that you'll dance. And that's why I started Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet, because as you get a bit older, you can go out, book a babysitter, and you go, where do I go? And there was nowhere. So that's why we created this.
So I've got a couple more questions for you. What is one of your proudest moments? I'll say that again. What is one of your proudest moments of being, no, I'll edit this bit out. What's one of
don't worry. Oh, you say it again. Now I interrupted you.
Oh God. What is one of your proudest moments at Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet?
Oh my goodness. It's like saying, which is your favorite child?
Don't answer that question.
There are too many. I mean, we've had them at like small events. You know, we used to do one in the church hall in Hither Green. We've got big ones. So we did Box Park Wembley. I mean, that was amazing. That was actually, we did 90s. It was 90s. We did it. We did pre-Spice Girls parties. So the people who run Box Park Wembley are fans of Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet. And they said, look, the Spice Girls are playing Wembley. We want everybody to come here, have a bit of a party first. So we did a 90s playlist. So Ant did it and I got some dancers in. Sherilyn was brilliant. Yeah. And we did these 90s pop parties. And it was, I mean, the whole place went wild. We had 2,000 people each night. And we had people who were missing the beginning of the concert because they were having so much fun with us that they didn't want to leave. I mean, that was, for me, that was amazing because I used to work in television. I used to work as a reporter and I never did live TV and I was anxious about it. And then about a couple of days before the event, the guy at Box Park said, oh, can you just front it? Can you MC it? You know, whatever. And 20 years ago, I'd have gone, no way, can't do that. And I just thought, yeah, okay, why not? And it just went off. We had, you know, people were just loving it and being up there, standing in front of 2,000 people was quite a buzz actually. And I thought, I'm doing this in my late 50s, you know, and people are loving it.
It must be so much fun. Oh yeah, I think it's great, and I absolutely love coming to your events.
Yeah, I think there's always a point where I stand during an event, however big or small it is, whether it's, you know, Islington Assembly Hall where we have like 400 people, or Blackheath Halls where we have like 800, or a smaller one, you know, like the tap room. I would stop and just stand and just watch people having a good time, and that is the best drug there is out there. You know, it just makes you smile.
Yeah, it does. So how can people find out a bit more about you?
So we are just haven'tstoppeddancingyet.co.uk, quite a mouthful, but it's there. And it just, you can book tickets for our events there. Also sign up to the mailing list. So we've got a mailing list. There's a link that you can click because that's where we tell people when tickets are selling out, or if you've got an event or whatever. On Instagram, yeah, that's where you found it. Oh, and Twitter. So we're old school. We cover all of them.
Perfect. And last question: what is your favourite spot in South East London?
Oh goodness! Again, that's such a difficult one. I'm going to say this one actually. I'm going to say Beckenham Place Park, because I still come across people who have not been to Beckenham Place Park who live in Greenwich or other areas of South East London. I absolutely love it. The park's brilliant. There's a great mansion. And we might be announcing a Haven't Stopped Dancing Yet party there soon. So,
well, that's exciting. I love Beckenham Place Park. I walk the dog there all the time, and that mansion's just such a beautiful building.
Oh, it's such a beautiful space.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Well, Nikki Spencer, it's been lovely having you on the blog today, and I wish you lots of luck for 2022 and beyond, and look forward to coming and seeing you guys on the 8th.
Yeah, we look forward to it. I mean, it's just going to be, I mean, the sun's out, isn't it? It's wonderful. We're all feeling a bit spring-like. We need a dance, don't we?
Yeah, no, it's going to be lovely. I can't wait. Thank you, Nikki. It's been really good to talk to you.
Take care.
Okay.